You think you'll stay the same forever, that your opinions won't change, that the place you grew up will always feel too small for you. I couldn't wait to leave this place when I lived here, but lately, every time I come back, I find myself loving it a little bit more. I'm visiting my parents this week, spending time where I grew up. I'm going to be really honest with you here. I always feel resistance coming back. When I was living here, I wanted nothing more than to get away from everything. The people I knew, the weather, the towns, even, would you believe, the scenery. It felt too small and suffocating for me. When I come back, I sometimes see it how I did back then. I also see the memories and all the bad decisions I made as a young 20-something who thought she had nothing left to learn. I can be driving down a road and suddenly a street sign, a bar or a cafe will spark an uncomfortable memory, and it makes me want to run back to Kent.
I'm sat on the kitchen counter with a box of bourbon biscuits, trying not to eat them all. Why is it that no matter what age you are, when you return to your parents' house, you just still act like a teenager? They're out of the house. And I'm like, yeah, let's sit in the kitchen and eat all their biscuits. I'm due on tomorrow, so the craving for sugar is very, very intense. It's really stormy outside. There's actually a storm, which we didn't know was gonna come until we got here. I'm kind of glad, because maybe we would have thought of not coming if there was a storm, but there's a storm all this evening and all day tomorrow, sort of 40, 50 mile an hour winds, and it's hitting where my parents are. It's not actually hitting Kent, but I actually don't mind it because it feels pretty cozy inside. I'm just gonna have a cup of tea, have a few of these, and read my book for the evening, I think. The thing that I'm trying to do at the moment is just really embrace the weather and do things anyway and get outside anyway. So that is my mission. I'm gonna, but maybe not in 50 mile an hour winds, because I'm not sure how safe that is in a forest. You know, if I did a little walk tomorrow and then I got hit, I don't want to get hit by a tree. So I'm going to proceed with caution tomorrow, but the rest of the time the weather's kind of hit and miss, and I'm going to do some lovely walks here no matter the weather. We did a really blustery one today, and actually there's nothing better than being outside in all the elements and then coming inside and having a hot drink. There's no feeling like it. There's no reward like it after you really feel like you've put yourself through the elements. I kind of just love that feeling. And when we were on the walk and it was feeling a bit tough and a bit rainy and I was thinking, should I just turn back? I was thinking, oh, but afterwards when we have a drink and we've been through this, it'll just feel really good. And we got the best hot chocolate after, and it was so worth it. It was worth carrying on. And actually when you're out in it, and actually when we gone around the corner and over the hill, it wasn't as windy as when we were in the car park. And I think if we'd got out of the car park and let ourselves be deterred by the weather, it would have been a real shame, because we actually had such a nice time. So sometimes it is worth just ploughing on. George and I lived here during lockdown, and the whole time we were just getting bourbon biscuits. George is obsessed with bourbon biscuits. They're his favourite. So we were eating so many of them. So now when I come back to my parents, my dad always gets us bourbon biscuits in. So I'm allowed to eat these, but obviously it's not actually good to just fill up on sugar the whole time. And they're such a good biscuit for dipping. But I'm actually, if I had to pick for myself though, I would always get a custard cream over a bourbon any day.
I used to work in a hotel, and the owners had come from Scandinavia. I never understood why they'd want to settle here. What did they see in this boring place that I grew up in? It blew my teenage mind. What was even more strange to me was how much they hated London, the place I dreamt of living. It was baffling to me that they preferred their quiet life up in the mountains over the big and bold city. I thought they were so strange, but now I'm kind of seeing it through their eyes. In my last few visits, I've loved coming back to Llandudno. This place feels like a time capsule, something I would have scoffed at in the past, but now I think it's charming. As much as I love trying out its new coffee shops, the Victorian promenade, The colourful houses nestled into the hills and the traditional department store are everything I love about it most. As we sat in this coffee shop, I remembered the last time I was having coffee in this town and looking out onto the high street. We were in the process of buying our house in Margate. House buying is one of those processes that makes you live in the future. All your efforts are on this thing you're desperate for, and it makes your present life feel unsatisfying and like a waiting game. I wish I'd had the foresight to make the most of it back then, because here I am now, seeing it through the eyes of a tourist and loving it. It was nice to see such a bustling high street. Granted, there are a lot of coffee shops and restaurants in the town now, but there wasn't the ghost town feeling you get in some British high streets these days. I took George to the old department store, Claire's. He loved it so much, and we had so much fun going up and down in the old-fashioned lift. The homeware section is always so good here, and there were so many baking bits and pieces I would have loved to have bought. One of the things I was actually looking forward to seeing again this time was Bodnant Gardens. Now I have my National Trust membership, I can visit here as often as I like. It's the most magical place to visit. We arrived here about an hour before they closed, so it felt like we had the whole place to ourselves. I think if I lived here, I would come here at least once a week. I saw a woman walking her dog, who had the air of a local about her, and I thought, imagine if this was your daily dog walk around this amazing garden. It feels like something out of Alice in Wonderland. You'll go down a path and it's like you're in a totally different world to the one you've just been in. The huge trees make me feel like I've taken a shrinking potion or something. I wouldn't think twice if I saw a rabbit running across my path with a pocket watch. But we only saw squirrels this time.
I can't believe I'm back in Bodnant Garden. Well, I used to come here when I was little, but when I lived here before I moved out, I had no idea that this place was on my doorstep. I can't believe how good it is, and it really feels like autumn here. It was so nice to visit here in the summer, but the autumn colours are incredible, and I feel like it's like I've never seen colour before. It's so good seeing the oranges and the reds together. I just can't stop looking around. I just feel so in love with this whole place. I feel really lucky. This is like, I think this year this is my 4th time here maybe. It feels different every time. It feels so peaceful here, and this was a really good time of day to come, because there's not many people here. And yeah, the last time we came was in the summer, so it was very busy then. So it's a totally different atmosphere. It feels like we've got the whole place to ourselves. When I was little, actually, my dad told me that there's a picture of me somewhere under these giant leaves, and there's a picture of me and my brother, and I remember, I can picture the picture in my head, the photograph. I didn't actually realise that was in this garden, even though I remember the photo quite well. So I think that's really cute, and it's so nostalgic. At this point, I obviously feel like the National Trust should be paying me for all this PR I'm doing for them. Because I talk about it to everyone, I talk about it to my friends, my family, to you. But this place is definitely the best National Trust that I've been to. And as you know, I've been to quite a few of them. It's just my favourite, and I just can't believe that it was a stone's throw away from my family's house. Okay, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but it was 20 minutes up the road from my family's house all this time. I don't think I even thought to look when I was younger for places like this. I just was interested in going to the big city, and everything else was just a waste of time. So much has changed, it's unbelievable.
It's nice to have an excuse to come visit this part of the world, because I probably wouldn't come here if, I would never have come here if I hadn't met Lindsay. And yeah, I guess I just see things, there's a bit more novelty, if I didn't grow up in this kind of area. So to me, it's like, I love this part of the world, I really enjoy coming, but maybe to Lindsay, it's like, bit more normalised for her, I guess.
It's a strange feeling coming back to the place you grew up. The streets look the same, the shops mostly haven't changed, but I have, countless times. When I'm here, I still feel that teenage version of myself, the one who couldn't wait to leave, who dreamed of fast-paced living in the city. But somewhere along the way, I stopped fighting this place. I started to see what my parents saw, the quiet charm, the slower pace, the familiarity that once made me restless. Maybe it's because I don't live here anymore that I can finally love it. Or maybe it's because I've changed enough to see it with new eyes. Some parts feel a little rough around the edges, a little left behind. But that's also the beauty of it. It makes me wonder how many other things I'll change my mind about in years to come. How many opinions I'll outgrow, how many places or people I'll come back to with a softer heart. For now, I'm just grateful that coming back doesn't make me want to run anymore. It just makes me feel at peace.